So, to get myself hyped for the new Avengers movie, I read this, because they kinda have their similarities. This is The Ultimates Volume 1, Superhuman. Now, I just reviewed Ultimate Spider-Man, and the same universe applies to this book. In fact, The Ultimates, this universe's version of the Avengers, was started partly because of the appearance of people like Spider-Man. But, unlike Ultimate Spider-Man, this book is a whole lot creepier and just darker. Written by Mark Millar and with pencils by Bryan Hitch, this book definitely takes a more realistic and adult approach to the superhero business as a whole. Basically, that not everyone is as perfect as they may seem. Except for Captain America. Yeah, he's the pinnacle of human awesomeness. In fact, you see this really early on in the first of 6 issues collected in this book. It's a flashback to the 1940s when Cap was fighting in World War II. And he's just awesome. It also sets up how he ends up in the modern age, which stays true to the mainstream universe. But beyond that, the changes in the Ultimates are more noticeable than in Spider-Man. The name itself is evident of that. The original team is still the same, however, with Iron Man, Wasp, Ant, or Giant Man, Captain America, and to a looser extent, Hulk and Thor. Why looser? Well, Hulk is disgusting. He was created when Bruce Banner was experimenting with the super soldier serum, so that's different, but he's also much more gruesome than in the mainstream universe. Thor is also, well, for lack of a better term, a hippie. He's totally against the US government, and the Ultimates are sponsored by that government, so you might imagine that could create a few problems. But he still helps when there's genuine danger, so he could be considered part of the team. All these differences really separate the Ultimate from the mainstream, as well as a few minor aesthetic changes, such as Nick Fury being now African American. What's actually quite funny at one point in the book is that the team is having a conversation about who would play themselves in a movie, and Nick Fury says Samuel L. Jackson almost immediately. And what's funny is that Samuel L. Jackson is actually playing Nick Fury in the movie. Pretty cool foreshadowing there, huh? He also states at one point that he's had his nose broken more times than Robert Downey Jr. Not necessarily related to Tony Stark, but still interesting seeing as that's who plays him in the movie. So the book has a nice sense of humor to go with the messed up and terrible things happening in the book, and ends on such a terrible note. The art is also fairly good, if a little too realistic for my taste, but really portrays the themes and writing. Overall, The Ultimates Volume 1 Superhuman is a good read, and reminds me of a somewhat toned-down version of the movie universe. That being said, if you're looking to get psyched for the movie's release next week, you may want to check this one out. This book is a little more suggestive, as I've said, so this really isn't the book for younger children. However, as a whole, this is a great book, and provides quite a bit of entertainment. And seriously, Cap is just too cool.